Hello everyone, it's Silvia from Fedlight Tarot. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm very excited because we have a few decks, new decks that came into my collection recently. So we're going to do an unboxing and have a look at them. There's also a new folk magic book that I wanted to show you. But also there's a giveaway, and it's a giveaway of a indie deck that is now, I believe, out of print, and it's not going to be reprinted. So it's going to be really exciting. This giveaway, I will give the instruction to enter the giveaway at some point in the video, so stay tuned and check it out. Okay, so I wanted to show you the book first because I've talked about the Italian folk magic, the world of Italian folk magic book by Rose and Sarah, published by Rockpool probably a couple of weeks ago when I got this deck in. And I was saying that I was starting to study that, and I went through and I'm almost done with it. I think it's an incredibly interesting book. It is in English, so obviously if you want to reach out, if you want to try and find it, it is, as I said, released by Rockpool, probably available at Amazon, I guess, or also perhaps your metaphysical bookstore or something like that. There is one thing that I have to say. So it is the world of Italian folk magic, and if you watched the video where I was actually talking about this book for the first time, I was actually mentioning that I felt like, even though it is really interesting, fascinating, and also very informative, on the one hand I felt like there was a whole part of Italy which was not talked about. It has been neglected simply because I completely understand, because the author Rose comes from Molise, which is in the center of Italy, and she specifically says in I think it's in the intro of this book, that the folk magic she was going to talk about was exclusively related to the southern regions of Italy. She doesn't specifically say that there's no folk magic in the north, simply that the southern regions are the ones that she knows best, and obviously the ones she can talk about. But that really made me curious, because I come from the north of Italy, the region where Venice is situated. And I'm pretty sure that I grew up around folk magic people. My auntie, she was absolutely into folk magic without necessarily identifying herself as a witch, but she really was in touch with nature in a very magical and spiritual way. But I also remember when I was little, I was told of so many legends about my region, but also the really northern part of Italy, for example, the Alpine part of Italy, and the regions that are on the border with Austria and Switzerland. And there were so many witchcraft related stories, but also very spiritual stories that I know that were not originated from the southern regions in Italy. And so this made me reach out and do some research, and I finally found a book that I believe will actually quench my thirst for the folk magic coming from my native region of Italy. And it's this one here. It's by Elena Righetto. It's Folklore e Magia Popolare del Veneto. Now, it's obviously in Italian, and this is a project with the contribution by the Coven Venice project. So it does sound incredibly interesting. It talks about folklore and witchcraft or magic, folk magic, popular folk magic in the region of Veneto, which is the region around Venice, which is where I come from. The reason why I wanted to show you this is because I know that many of you are from Italy or speak Italian, and I have to say it was not easy to find. Actually, ironically, I found it on Amazon Germany, So it came from Germany and I had to pay through the nose for shipping, but I don't mind because I just had a look and I have to say it is incredibly interesting. It is focusing on my region and I cannot wait to read and study this book because I feel like, especially now that we're getting closer and closer to Halloween, which I know that it's just in the northern hemisphere that Halloween coincides with Samhain, but I officially decided that this year, even though I live in the southern hemisphere, I'm actually going towards the summer season and it's actually going to be Beltane for us. I've actually decided that I'm going to live and celebrate Halloween as if I were in the northern hemisphere. So for me, it will be also dedicated to all the rituals I would do during Samhain, therefore this kind of really strong communication with my ancestors and with the spiritual guides and the people that are no longer with me. And so because of the thinning of the veil, I'm really planning on trying and feel closer to my auntie, which was really interested in these kind of things. Now, this is going to be obviously a very short read, so I'm planning to, if anyone is interested, I'm just planning to post probably a video in the next couple of weeks in which I'm going to say whether this is worth the price or not. But I'm very excited about this. But now let's talk about the giveaway. So the giveaway that I want to propose, it's open to all of my subscribers, so you do have to be a subscriber on my channel, and it's open to anyone who's 18 and older. These are unfortunately legal restrictions, and it needs to be, you need to live in a country that could be all over the world, but it needs to be a country where I can legally ship a tarot deck to you, because I know that in some places I am not allowed to do so. Not that many, but you know, just in case. In order to enter this giveaway, so first of all, let's have a look at what the giveaway is, and it's this deck here. So this is the indie edition of Sam Rook's tarot deck, which is now published to mass market by Rockpool, and it's called Valoria's Tarot. So it has a completely different format. I have been sent that mass market deck, and ironically, I was using this deck, which is in the indie edition, is actually called the Penelope's Tarot. And as you can see, Sam Rook was still called Sam West, or still went by the name Sam West back then, but when they published this one, the Penelope's Tarot, as an indie edition, I was using this deck all the time for inner child work, and I have to say that recently with my Starline members, we have done a 3 months work on an inner child and learn how to, thanks to the tarot, we have learned how to get in touch with our inner child, and there's plenty of exercises. It's actually very, very deep and profound. So if you want to check it out, you can check out my membership. There is a join button on my YouTube channel page, and you can check out what the benefits and the perks are. But ideally, every 3 months with my Starlight members, we're moving on from, for example, we started with getting out of your own cage, of a cage of your own making, and then we've looked into getting in touch with your inner child, and then in a couple of weeks' time, we'll also start a new tarot roadmap to processing grief and loss. So we always touch on these very profound themes. So if you want to check it out, you will be more than welcome to join my membership, and I'm looking forward to connect with you. So I was using this deck, and then at a certain point I realized that I was actually reaching out for the mass market deck more, because it's got a different format. And if you're familiar with the deck, it is one of those minis, let's say, by Rockpool. There's a few now that have been published on that format. And because of that, it really felt like it was more suitable for that type of work. But I wanted to show you this deck. So this is the Penelope's Tarot. and it is the indie edition. May this deck help you find hope and joy even in the darkest of times. I really, really like this message. So we got the moon, the half moon in the inside part of the box and the sun in the upper part of the box. Now this deck is of excellent quality, I have to say. These are the backs, which are really, really beautiful. It is a standard tarot size, so if you prefer the other one, obviously, but this is a free giveaway. I mean, why wouldn't you enter it? Obviously, I'm going to cover the cost of shipping as well. So it's a completely, deck that you can have for free, and it's an indie deck that is now out of print. And it's not going to be reprinted as an indie deck because it has been picked up mass market. Now, the design, the drawings, the images are, I believe, the same. I didn't actually do a comparison with the mass market deck. And at times you will see that it's a rather peepish deck, but it's still a very beautiful deck. I really love the color. The color palette is very soft, it's very nice, with pastel colors like that. And if you're familiar with Sam's work, you will recognize it. I mean, Sam has been very prolific with tarot decks. One of my favorite tarot decks released by Sam is the Macabre Tarot, which was one of the decks that I actually take up and use during this time of the year, because it really is one of those decks that I believe it stays in between the creepy and cute and the creepy and scary kind of decks, you know what I mean? Like one of those decks that at any given point when you pull a card, you have the feeling that you're definitely in an Halloween kind of environment. And so at the same time it is creepy because some cards are really creepy, but it also sometimes, probably because of the art style, is also kind of cute. So I will post a video in which I'm trying to explain myself what I mean between the creepy cute and the creepy scary, because I believe every one of us, if we like Halloween, we probably have decks that belong to either one or the other or both the categories. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But in any case, so this is the deck that I'm putting up as a giveaway, as I said, completely free, open to anyone who's 18 years and older, who also is one of my subscribers on my channel. And let's think about, so the giveaway will be as following. Let me just take a couple of things that I have to show you first. Okay, so what happened was that I really restrained myself in buying Halloween decorations, because at the time of filming we're still in September, and I told myself I really have to wait for October. October is the official Halloween month. However, I keep on being sent photos by my members, my friends, that they just bought this decoration and that decoration, and look how cute this is, and look how funny this is, and look how scary this is, and I can't just resist anymore. And so what I did, I went to the reject shop, and if you're in Australia, go to the reject shop if you love Halloween, because it is the home of Halloween. They have absolutely everything you can think of. And whilst last year I did a big haul of Halloween stuff, as you can see here on the inside video, I felt like I needed to buy new stuff because it is incredibly cheap. And just to give you one example, there's stuff that costs $1, and I guess out of all of the items that I bought either last year or this year, the most that I spent was $10 on a really cute sign of a tarot reader. So obviously I felt like I really needed to buy it. And also I found this fantastic press-on nails. So let me just show them to you. These are all Halloween themed, as you can see. They are incredibly cute, as this one here has got a couple of spiders there, and then you got spider webs. This one has got pumpkins and also a mummy, and also, you know, someone stitched up a scar and a haunted house, which is really cute. And then we got these ones, which are probably my favorite color for my nails. It's a neon pink kind of color with a couple of black nails, but also spider webs in there as well. And then we got these ones, which are actually glowing in the dark with these bones on the nails. So these are all press-on nails. They 24 pieces, so obviously if you don't know your size, you can actually try them on. There's 24 of them. You will find your size. And I'm not saying that you should be wearing press-on nails. I know that it's sometimes it's also damaging the nail bed of your own nail. Obviously, I only wear them when I'm filming my videos, but because I went to Malaysia, I could find so many of them and they're really, really cute. These ones, however, I bought them at the reject shop. And so here's the instructions for the giveaway of the Penelope's Tarot by Sam Rook. If you want to enter this, why don't you drop a comment in the comments below, hashtag nails, so hashtag nails and then space, so not all attached, hashtag nails and then space, and let me know which ones I should use in the 4 weeks of Halloween month, so in the 4 weeks of October. So for example, let's name this A, B, C, and D. As a matter of fact, let me just write it on top of it because otherwise I'll forget it. Okay, so this one here is A, so I'm writing down A, and this one here is B, and I don't know where to write it, let's put it here, B. This is C, and this is D. So A, B, C, D. So if you want to enter the giveaway, please drop a comment with the hashtag nails and then a space. And then let me know. You can let me know either one of these. It could be A, B, C, or D. It could be D, C, A, B. You choose the order in which you want me to wear these nails when filming the videos that I will be posting for the 4 weeks of October, which is officially Halloween month. I hope it's clear. So I will accept any entry. If you only like the A, for example, and you write down in the comments hashtag nails space A, I will still consider it valid as an entry to the giveaway. But you can also put A, B, C, D or any other order, and I'll make sure to comply to that and wear these nails. Now, this was the giveaway for the Penelope's Tarot, the indie edition, which is now out of print. But now let's talk about the decks that I actually received. So we're going to start with this one because I have never seen this deck before in my entire life. And I have to say, I don't even have that much information about this deck. What happened was that I really love to go to thrift stores to just see if I can find some treasure, you know, or in any case buy books, or even something like this, for example, which is absolutely gorgeous. I really, really love this. And any kind of things that, you know, may remind me of Halloween. I just am a sucker for all of this kind of stuff. So what happened was that I went to a book fair a couple of weeks ago, and I don't know how it works in your countries, but in Australia, some book fairs do not accept, as donations, do not accept tarot and oracle decks. So they do not resell them. So if you go to a book fair, you will not find any tarot or oracle deck. However, there's other ones that actually accept tarot and oracle decks and they resell them. So I found this one in a book fair a couple of weeks ago. It's called the Mystic Journey Oracle. It's a 44 oracle card deck. I have never seen this before, but it's actually not bad. And I know it came, so what happened was that obviously this is second hand, but the cards are perfect. I don't know if you can see that, but they're really perfect. There's absolutely no chipping on the edges. There's no marks, nothing. It wasn't new, it was second hand. And the reason why I am certain 100% that it's second hand is because it has a really powerful smell of smoke. I think that the person who used this deck, so it doesn't smell like incense, you know, it smells like cigarette smoke, or I may be wrong, but that's what I would identify as a cigarette smoke. And so it was very cheap. It was like $5, and I was really happy to find it. But at the same time, I'm wondering, because it still really stinks, and I really don't like cigarette smoke. I mean, I got nothing against people smoking, but I don't smoke, and it actually is quite powerful. So if anyone has a suggestion on what to do in order to get rid of the smoke, so I've been told to put it in a box with a lot of those humidity balls, moth balls. It didn't work, and I tried to put it close to some incense burning sticks, but that didn't work either. So it's still really, it is a very powerful smell, and I really don't like it. In any case, if you have any suggestion, please let me know, because it's actually a really beautiful deck. So I'm just gonna show you. It's got 44 cards. And at the beginning, I thought it was like some sort of a reinterpretation of a Lenormand deck or a Keeper because of the images, but it's an actual oracle because we have actual keywords at the bottom. So I really like it. So rejoice, reflect, study, and I even like the graphics, the images, blessings, mystery, hope, dream. So do all of the keywords match up with the images? Probably not, but I really like it, and I think I can really work with this one. Guidance, self-love, light. So I am very excited, because when I saw this one, it really reminded me of an oracle deck that has been very elusive to me, because I tried to buy it a couple of times, and what happened was that when I tried to check out the availability, I'm talking about the Earthbound Oracle, which is by Skull Garden. When I checked the availability, it was out of print, and it had been out of print for almost a year. And then I think now it's available again, like they probably made another print of the deck. But with all of the Etsy fees, the shipping fees, and the GST fees and everything, I will end up spending $80, which is, to be honest, I don't know. I mean, it's a really beautiful deck, and I would love to have it, but not for now. But when I saw this one, it really felt like it was very similar to the Earthbound Oracle. I mean, not the same, but probably because of the earthy tone, the color palette, but also sometimes the images are very similar to that one. And because one of my members sent me a pairing that she's done between the Awakening Tarot, which is a deck that we're studying now with my Sunlight and Starlight members, all together, then we'll do a live video as a wrap up, which will be open to also the Fairlight members, to all 3 tiers of my membership. So this member of mine, she sent me this pairing between the Awakening Tarot and the Earthbound Oracle, and it looked like it worked really, really well. And I thought to myself, maybe this one will work really well as well. So let me just try something out. Okay, so I'm just gonna try. This is the Awakening Tarot, and by the way, it is absolutely fantastic. It's one of the decks that is actually really, really deep for a deck study, because it uses an elemental approach, which is obviously based on alchemy. And so we're actually doing an introduction to the study of alchemy with my members, and it's been, so far, it's been really, really fascinating. So I don't know. What do you think? I think it might actually work. I mean, not as good probably as the Earthbound Tarot, but Oracle, but considering that I got this deck here for $5, $5 Australian is like, I don't know, $3 US, so it's really nothing. And I think we may actually be onto something here. I think it may actually work. So we've got self-love between aspiration, which is the renaming for the star card, and perspective, which is the renaming for a hanged one or hanged man. So obviously we're looking into expanding the message from the oracle out. So the self-love can be achieved through a different perspective. Perhaps right now you don't really feel in synchrony with the cosmos, with your ancestors. You don't cultivate as much hope as you can because you're missing out on a perspective, on a different perspective. If you change the lenses on the glasses that you're wearing and looking at reality in a different way, you will achieve a different perspective and find out that you are worthy of love, and then you will find again that kind of connection to the spirit world. Or study between the Voyager of air and release. So as you can see, the Awakening Tarot is actually renaming not just the major arcanas, but also the court cards. But it's a very easy kind of renaming because it's actually very logical. So Voyager, what does that tell me? Voyager, for me, it reminds me of movement. So one of the court cards that remind me of movement is obviously the Knight. So we're talking about the Knight of air, and because it is an elemental tarot, air is the suit of Swords. So this is the Knight of Swords, and release is the renaming for number 13 in the major arcanas, which is obviously the Death card. So we're studying. So it's almost as if this was telling me to concentrate on something before just getting out there and act upon my ideals. So that is the Knight of Swords for you. It is the warrior. It is someone who has very strong ideals and morals and doesn't shy away from acting on them. But sometimes the problem, the risk is to be a bit too impulsive. So let's take a moment and, and release that kind of tension that is created by the necessity of getting out there and moving and already doing something about it. Let's focus on what we're doing, and that will give us the possibility of perhaps formulating or achieving a different target, let's say, or a different ideal, and focusing on a different objective. Initiate, as I was saying before, so initiate is the renaming for the Page. And servitude, which is quite clear, as you can see here, servitude immediately makes you think about the Devil card. And it's a very interesting interpretation when it comes to the images. So perhaps we need to use the light. And the initiate of it, so the Page of Swords is definitely the one that wants to switch on all the lights, because they want to make sense of everything that is in front of them. And so that actually trumps the power of the devil, because the power of the devil lies on darkness, on making you unaware of what's in front of you, on tricking you. So the light is obviously your antidote to that. And so we're looking at, I believe it's a really good pair. When it comes to, let's say, the conversation that the cards are having, I really like it. I think that the keywords in the oracle are very communicative and they work really well in this pairing. But also when it comes to the images, I don't feel like they're clashing. We're not, obviously, when it's not the same creator and illustrator, so we're obviously not looking at the same style, but it's not clashing, you know what I mean? It's not something that feels like a punch in the face. As a matter of fact, I believe that it works really well. So we got the intuition between the Six of Air and the Lover's card, which has been renamed as Intimacy. So the Six of Airs is this travel, this journey you have to embark upon, even though you were not necessarily happy about having to do so, but you need to, because you need to move to a better place. But you're using your intuition, because this journey is a perilous one. There's danger ahead, the waters are choppy, and even here your balance is precarious because you're just hanging in there. So use your intuition, but also decide which way to go. Now this is an interpretation as a choice of the Lover's card that I take out of the traditional RWS. When studying the Awakening Tarot, there is a lot more about union and intimacy, but I'm perfectly fine with that interpretation of the Lover's card. Capture, oh my goodness, can you see that? So we've got capture, and the image is a cage, and we got the Eight of Air, which is literally showing me a person captured in their own cage. and it's a very powerful image at that. And there's also Fortitude in here, which is the renaming for the Strength card in the Major Arcana, which is literally the card, the principle of self-confidence. So the Strength card tells you that you need to get rid of self-doubt, and you need to believe in your self-worth, so you can get out of this cage. Wow, I'm getting chills. I'm getting chills reading with these two decks together. So I'm quite happy that I was able to find this deck. And as I said, it's called the Mystic Journey Oracle. I have absolutely no idea. I actually did some kind of research into that. I could not find anything. So these are the backs, by the way. But this is the first deck that I wanted to show you today. And the next deck that we're going to have a look at today is this one. Is the Rain Shadow Tarot. I believe that it's by Claire Mack. Yeah, absolutely. So Claire is also the author of a couple of oracles. I believe one is called the Illuminated Earth Oracle, and the other one is called the Faceted Garden Oracle. I don't know whether they made another deck, but this is co-written also with Autumn Hesse. This was I believe it was a Kickstarter from last year. It does say 2023. I didn't back it simply because I had the Faceted Garden Oracle in my collection and I just did not really use it. It didn't resonate with me. And so when I saw that the tarot was quite similar, let's say, to the images or the art style that you can find on that oracle, I didn't think that it was going to be a deck for me. But then what happened was that, you know, guys, that I'm part of a few Facebook groups where you can sell or buy or trade tarot and oracle decks, and I always monitor the new posts. And I saw this lovely lady that she was posting this deck for a very affordable price, and so I was like, yeah, absolutely, I have to have it, and I really want to see whether I can connect with this deck. Now, it does come with a guidebook, which is always interesting because you probably remember how much I love reading guidebooks, because I like to understand why a creator has chosen a particular image for a specific card. This is a really good, sturdy 2 parts box, and it is a very good production when it comes to the cardstock. It's one of my favorite. It's got that really nice, soft, papery, kind of tactile feel to the cards. Now, I have to say, one of the reasons why this person was selling this deck, rehoming this deck for a very reasonable price, was that she said she did well, she said it wasn't a perfect job in the edging of the deck. And I have to say, I actually really like it. I mean, I originally, when I got it, I thought to myself, oh, it's okay, it's fine, I'm going to re-edge it. But I actually really like it. I think that she used a bit of a copper tone and a gold tone, and I really like the way it looks right now. And I don't think she's done a bad job. I think it's actually really nice. There is a little bit of gold that goes into the image, or rather the border of the cards, but I don't mind it because I actually like it. It gives it some kind of an antique feel to it, so I'm quite happy that I got this deck for a very reasonable price, and it came edged, so quite happy with that. Now, this one is, as I was saying, you're probably familiar with Claire Mack's style, especially if you have either one of the oracles or maybe both of them. I don't know whether now that I have the tarot, I will actually reach out for the oracle decks just to see whether they pair up together. And I think they will, obviously, because we are looking at the same type of illustration. But I don't always like to pair up tarot and oracle decks that come from the same author. Sometimes it feels like cheating, like I have to try and be better. Some other times it just works out so perfectly, so magically, that I will be just, you know, it would be silly not to. But I don't know. I just don't know. We'll see. I know that I will have to buy them from the US, so there's always the shipping cost to put in consideration, so I will see. In any case, this is a really beautiful deck. I like the texture in the background of the cards. It is something that is common to all of these cards, and what happened was that when I was looking at this deck and considering online and considering whether to buy it or not, I thought to myself, especially because of this card, and then there's another one that really gave me inspiration, and of course I cannot find it now, I believe it's this one. So there's a few cards that reminded me a lot about another tarot deck. Now, generally speaking, I do not like to pair up two tarot decks. However, the other tarot deck is very intuitive, and I have found myself pairing it up with other tarot decks as if it were an oracle deck. And so let me just show you. So can anyone guess which tarot deck I'm going to pair up with the rain shadow? It's this one. It's just that there were a few cards on the rain shadow that really reminded me of the Margarete Petersen tarot. So this is the 20th anniversary, and it's a deck that was first published in 2001, so obviously this one would have been published in 2021. I know that the standard edition of this deck has really let's say aesthetically not pleasing, let's put it this way, borders. Like they're a bit of a gray border. This one is actually quite nice, and that's the reason why I am not going to trim it, because I did have the the standard version of this one with the gray borders, and I ended up having to trim it. But I really think that this deck, the images, the color palette, you name it, it really benefits from the maroon, Bordeaux maroon, how do you call this color, of the borders. I really think that it makes the colors pop, and I really like it. It's a deck that is very abstract, as you can see, of course, but there are images inside. Obviously these are paintings. And I think that it's very intuitive. As a matter of fact, I think I remember posting a video about my most intuitive decks or something like that, and I should probably post like an updated version of that video, because ever since then, I think it was about a year and a half ago or something like that. It was at the very beginning of my channel. And I was working a lot with intuitive decks. I love this deck out, by the way, one of the most beautiful ones. And I should post a new version of that video, because ever since then I got, I rehomed a few decks, and I got a hold of other decks. In any case, so let me just shuffle it quickly and let's see how it worked. Pair up with the Rain Shadow Tarot. Okay, let's see. I shuffled the deck. Let me just see if I can zoom out perhaps a bit, because it is a pairing, so just a little bit, not much. And let's level the decks. Okay, now as I said, when you want to use two tarot decks together as a pairing, or perhaps you want to use two oracle decks together as a pairing, I highly recommend not being tied down by reading both of them as you would read a tarot deck for divination. So sticking to the system you're using, whether it's the RWS or the Thoth or the Marseille. This needs to be an exercise in intuition, and to be honest with you, it's already working for me. Because just by looking at the cards, if I choose not to focus on the name of the card, because obviously the title will give away what the card is in the tarot deck. But if I choose to focus on the image, for example, and the way in which the image relates, the image of the deck in the middle relates to the tarot deck, the Rain Shadow Tarot deck on the sides, then it actually works. And I really like this combination. I think that even though we're looking at two different art styles, because obviously not all, let's say, abstract art is the same. As a matter of fact, there are more possibilities for abstract art from two different artists to be completely different, rather than in any type of art style, because abstract is abstract in anything. you know, it can be based on any type of media as well. So I'm not an expert, but I don't believe we're looking at the same type of media used as in watercolor with watercolor or sketching with sketching. And yet it works. I don't know, it feels like it's asking me to really get in touch with what my intuition is telling me about this. And you know, this one for me, this is a very airy card, and it tells me about opening up my mind and trying and understand what's around me. So there's a 6 of Wands, which is telling me about a victory that I've achieved thanks to cooperation, collaboration, but also the Page of Pentacles. So there is the studying aspect of the Page of Pentacles that tells me to open up my mind and then recognize that perhaps the victory that I achieved was because of the cooperation and the collaboration of people around me. So opening up to, you know, recognizing the people that helped me get where I am. Or perhaps this one, you know, it feels like the Ouroboros and the infinity, but in the infinity we also have the square. So everything that has an order represented by the square is included in the cosmos and in everything that is outside of my inner circle. And it's inviting me again to look outside of that. With the 6 of Cups, the 6 of Cups perhaps represent the safest part of this card. So the one that it lays in the middle, in that really safe square in the middle. And it's telling me that I need to look outside of that with the 6 of Swords, because the 6 of Swords has inherently that motion that tells you that you need to go to a better place. So right now it feels like I need to take refuge in the nostalgia and the safety of the 6 of Cups. But at the same time, I know that I need to get outside of that safety. So I don't know, it feels like this is very conducive of personal work. It feels like they pair up really well together, and I really like the way in which the aesthetics are combined. It feels like it's a very, very beautiful, aesthetically beautiful and pleasing kind of combination. But I don't know, let me know in the comments below if you think that these two actually pair up well together. But even looking at this one, we've got this infinity sign, obviously, with the 2 footprints in the middle and the 2 circles that remind me of the shapes in the 3 of Swords here, but also the star here. And so this is telling me that I need to get away from the overwhelm and the overthinking of the 3 of Swords, thanks to the perpetual cycle of life and the perpetual motion, and knowing that there is a way out of that. There is a way to reconnect ourselves to the hope of represented by the guides, the spiritual guides, or the ancestors, or the cosmos itself. So don't be tied down by the overthinking and the crowd, because sometimes when we're overthinking, we're also shrinking, aren't we? So let's not be tied down by this overthinking, and look outside of that and recognize that we still have this really strong connection to the cosmos. So I really, really like the work that I can do with these two together. I was very excited when I could get the rain shadow. And I think that I don't need the Faceted Garden or the Illuminator Earth Oracle. I mean, if I find them for a reasonable price in one of the Facebook groups, I might splurge, but I really love where these two are taking me. So this is the Rain Shadow Tarot paired up with the Margarete Petersen. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, because obviously being of German or Germanic origins is not pronounced the English way. But in any case, you know which tarot I'm talking about. It's this one here. And the next deck that I wanted to show you today is absolutely gorgeous. It's a darling. It's really a darling. It's this one here. Let me just zoom out a bit. It's called the Nature Oracle, Healing Messages from Earth, Sea, Stars and Sky. This is from a local Australian creator. She actually lives in Byron Bay. It's Claire Sweeney. The illustration is by Pia Jane Bijkerk. I'm pronouncing it the Dutch way, but it could be completely wrong. But in any case, this is a deck I'm really proud to present to you because I absolutely love Claire. She's got a really lovely Instagram account where she's actually giving out readings with this deck for the community. She is so sweet. We had a bit of a misadventure when it comes to the shipping. I reached out to her. We solved the problem within like an hour. She was right there for me. Absolutely lovely to deal with her. I highly recommend checking her out, her Instagram account or shop, because this is really an amazing deck. The only downside is that it's only 30 cards. To be honest with you, they're so beautiful that I would have loved to have at least a dozen more, but it is really, really worth it. So let me just open it up. Okay, so here we go. It is a very nice box, by the way, with gold foil here. As you can tell, it is a photographic deck, and it's actually rather large when it comes to your standard oracle size. I mean, I do have other decks, other oracle decks that are this size. It does come with a guidebook as well, which is always appreciated, even though there are keywords at the bottom of the card. So generally speaking, I like it when I get the keywords, because obviously it is kind of a deal breaker for me when I don't have any keywords. But it's always better to know, as I was saying before, what the intention of the author was when they created this deck and when they thought about that particular image with that particular meaning. And as you can see, it does actually give you a bit of information. So let's have a look here. Acknowledgement. I dedicate the Nature Oracle Healing Messages from Earth, Sea, Stars and Sky to my husband, Graham Sweeney. Sorry to hear that. He passed away in 2008. And my daughter, Cassie. Graham always had my back during our lives together and continues to be by my side in the afterlife. I am eternally grateful for his unwavering faith in me as a healer, mother, grandmother and friend to many. Cassie inspired me to write the Nature Oracle. Without her creative talents, this project may never have been born. Well, would you look at that? First published in 2023, so it's actually rather recent. And these are Claire's social media accounts, so if you want to check them out. So we've got acknowledgements, and then we got the table of contents and introduction. Working in partnership with nature spirits will empower you to truly make a difference by healing the planet and yourself. Obviously, we've got, so nature is the main theme, but it's really beautiful to see the way in which Claire has organized these cards as well. I had the possibility to follow her account on Instagram for a while before I actually decided to reach out to buy this deck. So about the cards carry energy, of course, I strongly believe in that. Get in the right frame of mind, see nature spirits everywhere, energy and your feelings. And then obviously we start with the cards. So for each and every card, what have we got? We got the title, then we've got some kind of a keyword here. Then we got the nature spirit message, the healing message. For example, for the fairies, the magical child, we got, do you believe you have an inner child? If so, either hurt or happy. Wow. So I spent the last 3 months doing exactly this kind of work with my members. And I wish I had got this oracle when I started, but that's okay. I mean, it's always very nice to have these kind of decks, and I will never stop doing inner child work. So obviously this will come in handy, for my future readings. Snake spirit. So as you can see, it does come with a thumbprint. It's not in full color, it's in black and white, but it's absolutely fine. We do have the cards, and there's a fair bit when it comes to the cards themselves. So we also have transformation and the promise. For example, for this card, which is the hawk, the healing sounds of nature, the promise is a reality of ease and living in harmony with all beings is the ideal for any human. You are the creator of your own reality. Set the goal for the life you wish to live. Be diligent about your real needs and always have the courage to say no when you are being tempted by more than you need. Such a valuable lesson. So I'm really looking forward to use this deck. So this is an unboxing and first impression. Obviously, it comes with a really nice copper or light copper tone gilding. These are the backs. Let me just take out the belly band there. So these are the backs. It appears like it's a photo as well. Very nice of, I don't know if you can tell, but there's ripples as if there were drops of water, you know, joining to this bigger body of water. So the ripple effect is very clear. And let's look into the card. So they do show you the number at the top, and then we got the title and the keyword at the bottom. I believe it's a photographic style that has been then worked as a collage as well. So there's obviously a lot that goes into the preparation and the creation of these decks. And it feels very elemental. Obviously, you know, it does say healing messages from earth, sea, stars, and sky. So it does seem to refer back to elements in nature, earth, angels, life, death, and rebirth. That's absolutely beautiful. It reminds me a lot of a couple. Oh, look at this one. This is so beautiful. So this is the fin. Is it called the fin when it's a turtle's fin, or is it called a different way? In any case, this is one of the fin of a turtle, and unconditional love. I have a story about this. So if you watched, I don't know whether it was in my Malaysia Tarot on Tour videos, I don't remember which one, probably Peninsula Malaysia, but when I was in Borneo, I went to an island that is between Borneo and the Philippines. So it actually was in the territory or the maritime territory of the Philippines, but it was still under the jurisdiction of Borneo. That's complicated, but in any case, it's in between Borneo and the Philippines. And it's an island where they have at least every night and year-round between 10 and 20 landings of different types of turtle, marine turtles. So we got the greenbacks and the hawksbill. And whilst we were there, so we obviously spent the night up, hiking around the island, finding the turtles. There was a guided walk, obviously, and we had to abide to very strict protocol in order not to disturb the turtles, which was absolutely fine. But what happened was, and we saw them arriving, you know, they come out of the sea and then they dig this hole, scooping out the sand, and then they lay the eggs, and it's a very difficult thing for them to do because it takes them hours, and they're not in their element. Sand is not their element, but they have to do that because they need to make sure that the eggs will be laid in a safe space and safe place. So when they lay their eggs, there is an incubation period of about 60 days. But because they lay eggs year-round, it means that in one night you will have different stages of the eggs. So they will have the mama turtle coming to the shore and laying eggs, but you will have eggs hatching and the little turtles going to the sea. So we saw pretty much everything from the hatching to the going to the sea to the mama laying eggs and everything. So in the morning, because we just couldn't sleep because we were so excited. So in the morning we wake up before sunrise and we hiked to the beach for sunrise, and we saw a turtle coming out of the water, and she started, well, after an hour of, you know, scooping up the sand, she started laying eggs, and there was an absolutely incredible experience. And I felt, I don't know, I was so excited. And then after that, we had to make our way to the boat because we were going away. But on the way to the boat, we saw eggs hatching, and out of one of the eggs there was this little turtle, this baby turtle, that was really struggling. And so I know that I'm going to say something that people would tell me that I shouldn't have done that, and I know that, and I take responsibility for it. I know. But what I saw was this, and you tell me what you would have done. So what happened was that she had been trampled upon by someone, another tourist that did not see the baby turtle, and not that it's any kind of excuse, but there were hundreds. They're tiny, and if you're not prepared to look at the sand, you would not necessarily see them. So this person did not do it on purpose, but by stepping on this baby turtle, they accidentally damaged her. Let's say it's a her. I don't know the sex. And she was really struggling. She was really struggling because she ended up missing one of the fins. And I could tell that she was on her last leg. So you know that they really need to make it to the sea because that's where they're in their element. We were there, everyone was pressing us on, come on, move it, go to the boat because you're late. And it was a really chaotic situation. There were kids screaming because they didn't want to leave. There were at least 20 tourists on the island. They take up to 20 tourists per night, but there were mostly kids. Lots of screaming, lots of people crying, lots of mothers getting really on their last nerves, trying to drag their kids to the boats. The boatsmen waiting patiently, but not so patiently anymore. It was a chaotic situation. I looked around and I just had 3 seconds to the side. I picked the baby turtle up. I made my way to the sea. I decided not to hear anyone making comments to me saying, don't do that. I put it in the sea and I said, you know what? If you're meant to die because you're not going to survive without one fin. Actually, she had half of it, so she could still move it, but it was kind of damaged. It wasn't the whole fin that was taken off. I said, you know what, and I'm giving you every chance I got, and I know that I should not have done that. You should never interfere with Mother Nature, but at the end of the day, I just felt like it was the right thing to do. And now seeing this card, I'm feeling like it could be some kind of a sign that I did the right thing. I don't know if you're a biologist. I apologize. I know that we should never do these kind of things because it is nature. But then again, it was a tourist that stepped on the turtle. So that turtle, had she not been stepped on by another human being, she would have made it to the sea. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if she's still alive. She survived. When I put her in the water, she immediately flew away. So she had absolutely no problems in swimming. And so I don't know. I decided to call her Swarly because I just like that name. It's a bit of a joke between myself and my husband. Anyway, long speech. I feel like this is a sign. Unconditional love. That was not, that was exactly what I felt. I felt unconditional love and I just wanted to help. If I did the wrong thing, I'm so sorry, but it didn't feel like it was the wrong thing to do. Wood Sprite, Neem, Goblin. Wow, I love this Goblin card. In any case, so there's a couple of decks that I want to try and pair up with this. And I'm just going to try straight away. Okay, so the first tarot deck that I want to try and pair up with this oracle, the Nature Oracle, is the Circle of Doors Tarot, which is a really beautiful deck, and it does have a very similar kind of photographic technique, namely the stacking of negatives. So let's have a look whether it works or not. This is literally the first time that I'm trying this out, so be patient with me. If it doesn't work, so be it. I mean, this is the beauty of improvising, but I think that we're onto something here because I feel like it actually does work. I mean, there's another tarot deck that I want to try, which is kind of an obvious choice, and therefore I wanted to try the Circle of Doors first, just because it's not the obvious one that you would think of. Look how beautiful this is. It looks like they're actually very similar when it comes to, as I said, the photographic style. And by the way, apologies if you hear noises in the background. It is pouring rain in Sydney today. It has been raining the whole day and I was waiting for it to stop, but at a certain point I just had to go ahead and film it because I don't want to lose the natural light. But hopefully it's not too loud. So I'm liking this. What do you think, guys? Let me know in the comments below. But I actually oh wow, the trickster. Between the Six of Cups, the innocence of the Six of Cups, and the Maga of Keys, which is representing the rebel. Really liking this combination, I have to say. The Tree Guardian Soul Wisdom between the Tower and obviously the Goddess, which is the renaming of the Empress. Really powerful. Although this card, I have to say, it is very triggering. Sorry, apologies for that. I know that it's triggering for a lot of us. For me as well, I have to say. Sorry. So then the Earth Sage, making peace with Mother between the Hanged One and the Fool. Also very powerful. My goodness, this combination is screaming for me to do a lot of journaling and meditation. I am enjoying these two so much together. It's incredible. Really beautiful. Look how beautiful star card of the Circle of Doors is, and we got it with the Land Guardian. Walk with respect. So between the star card and the Five of Keys, which is the struggle, absolutely, that is an amazing message. Obviously, if we arrive to put ourselves at the same level as nature and respecting it as much as we want to be respected, that's when we form that connection and we can let go of the struggle. So especially I love the fact that it's the Five of Keys, because you can tell holding these keys all in one chain, in one key ring, but there's this sense of struggle and anxiety related to trying to keep everything together and trying to control everything instead of releasing it with the power of the star. So really loving these two together. But as I said, there's another deck that I wanted to pair up with the Nature Oracle, so let me try. And I bet you all knew which one I was talking about. So this is the Remembering the Sweet Fool Tarot by Trisha Murray. It does remind me a lot of the vibes of the sacred, the Nature Oracle. So I'm actually very excited to see whether I was right when I thought that they could go well together. We kind of have also the same, so it's still photographic style obviously, but I'm thinking we kind of share the same colors, because with the Circle of Doors there was that difference in color, because the Circle of Doors, I believe it's work within cyanotype, where you have this kind of a bluish kind of tint to the photos, whereas obviously the Nature Oracle and also the Remember the Sweet Fool Tarot keep a full spectrum of colors in their photos. The sense of being within nature is so strong right now. I cannot even describe that. It's incredible. It's almost as if this were one of those decks, and it makes me think that this one will go well with the Walking Meditation Tarot as well, by the way. So it makes me feel like I'm doing one of those spirit walk that I do every now and then. It is incredible. Let me tell you, it's incredible. It is kind of abstract. The result is more abstract as you would think when pairing it up with the Circle of Doors, because you did have people in the Circle of Doors, whereas you don't, you know, when we're looking at the Remember the Sweet Fool Tarot. But it is so strong and powerful. It's scary. Honestly, it is, wow, it's very potent. I really love it. So we got the Hawk here, the Healing Sounds of Nature, with the so the Fortune card, which is the Wheel of Fortune, and the Eight of Sticks, which is the Eight of Wands or Fire. Wow, we've got the same kind of image here, obviously between the Eight of Sticks or Wands and the Wheel of Fortune. But at the same time, we are invited to delve into the power of nature and the healing power of the sounds of nature at that. So that's really beautiful. Really excited about using these two decks together. There's just another deck that I wanted to show you today, and I realized that I've been, this is going to be an incredibly long video, so my apologies for that. So I'm just gonna show you another deck that is part of the haul for today. There would have been also another one, but because the other one that I wanted to show you is a Halloween deck, I'm just gonna do a Halloween decks video. Let's do it this way. Okay, so the next one is a remake. So this is the Mystical Healing Oracle by Ina Siegel, illustrated by Jake Badley, and it's a reprint of a deck that is actually being published a few years ago by Rockpool. So this one, because the original one was on a glossy, if I remember correctly, cardstock, And Rockpool does this, like also Blue Angel, I have to say, they kind of republish or reprint some of their older decks, and when they reprint, they actually apply some improvements to the cardstock. So in this case, I believe this deck is actually on a matte cardstock, and I'm hoping it's going to be one of the really beautiful matte cardstock that we know Rockpool has done recently. I have to say the tactile feel to the top of the box is really silky, velvety, so very nice to the touch. So this is one of the decks that they call their deluxe line. So I'm expecting it to be a little bit more expensive than the other Oracle decks. I was gifted this deck, so I don't know how much it sells for. And let me just see how many cards there are, because I think that they did not add any additional card to the original one. So we're looking at 36 cards, which is not exactly what you want. We would want, especially for a mass market deck, you definitely want at least 44 cards. There's a number of reasons. I talk about it all the time. It's not a deal breaker for me in the sense that I still really appreciate this production value, and the deck itself is really beautiful. It's a box that opens up like a book, so I really like this style as well. And let's have a look at the cards. So they come with this really beautiful blue gloss kind of gilding, and these are the backs. So it looks like an antique kind of drawing. Like a Leonardo, you know, Leonardo da Vinci kind of drawing. I wouldn't be surprised if it's actually taken from one of his drawings about nature, about physics, about anything you can think of, because he was a genius. Yes, it is a really beautiful papery feel cardstock. It's very nice. I have to say the cards don't stick, it doesn't feel like they're sticking one to the other, even though they have this type of gilding that normally would probably result in that issue, but they don't. I have to say though, it feels, or it looks like the corners are already kind of worn out, which is one of the risks, obviously, of these decks. And this one came with this chip on it as well. It's a bit of a pity, but as I said, you know, it was a gift, so I'm not saying anything. I'm actually really happy about having this deck. I really love the art style. It is one of the decks that I felt was very intuitive, very communicative. It is a healing deck. And I absolutely love the combination between the images on the card and the message or the keywords at the bottom. I feel like it's very effective, let's put it this way. I think that this was the original box of the older deck had this as an image on the box, but I might be wrong, but I kind of recognize that image. It's a no, it's a yes. This is on the front of the newest box. Learn from karma, listen to your guardian angel. And I really have to speed up because the light is failing me. It is not late, it's 3:20 p.m. in the afternoon, but trust me, it's very dark in Sydney because yeah, it's overcast and it's been raining the whole day. So what I wanted to show you is the way in which I intend to use this deck. So as always, in a pairing with a tarot deck. And it's with this really gorgeous tarot deck here. It's the Tarot for Persephone's Garden by Cara Small. I absolutely love this deck. It is incredibly beautiful. This unfortunately is, I believe, out of print. I don't know whether Cara has announced whether she was going to reprint it, but I know that she did release another deck with a very similar style but very different kind of vibes, and it's called the Tarot of the Huntress, or sorry if it's not the correct title, but it's if you go into Cara's Etsy shop, you will see it. It's similar to the Huntress Tarot, Tarot of Huntress. I have to say I absolutely love this one, and I may actually, I haven't decided yet, but I may actually reach out for the latest tarot that she's published as well. For now though, I really wanted to show you these two together, how beautiful they are. It just really feels like they exist in the same environment, in the same realm. They kind of speak the same language. I find it that even when you look at the font or the color of the writing at the bottom, they almost match up. So apart from one card, which I don't understand why, they, out of a 36 cards deck, they have one which is actually in landscape. Okay, I don't know why they do this. I mean, it's not like I'm gonna use the whole deck in landscape. Anyway, it's fine, it's not a deal breaker, it's just one card. There's decks have used more than that, like one every 5 cards. There's a deck by Blue Angel that has every 5 cards has got one card that is actually in landscape format, which is really, I don't really understand how to use that deck. Anyway, so this one, really beautiful, these two together. They pair up really well. We are looking at a kind of a very similar art style. The color palette is very similar as well, and because we're looking at very conducive, very talkative keywords or messages at the bottom of the oracle deck, we can actually work really well in this way when pairing them up. So we got here the reverse disassociation between the 4 of coins and the 5 of coins. Look at this, it's amazing. So reverse disassociation, perhaps we should look at this kind of sequence between the 4 of coins and the 5 of coins in the opposite way. Perhaps the loss would have been avoided by actually keeping an eye on our resources. So let's, you know, do the reading in a reverse way, or experience rebirth between the Priestess of Wands and the Sun, or let's see, explore your ancestry between the Temperance card and the Queen of Coins. Absolutely beautiful. I feel like reading directionality with these two decks as well, because it feels like it's very intuitive as well. So really loving these two together. But as I said, there's other tarot decks, to be honest with you, that use the same kind of curated art as the Tarot of Persephone's Garden. So if you have the Tarot of Aphrodite, for example, or other decks, the Tarot Delphi as well, I believe would pair up really nicely with this oracle deck. But in any case, I highly recommend it because, as I said, it is a mass market deck. It's very affordable, published by Rockpool. And it is very powerful. You see the messages here: relinquish control between the 4 of Swords and the 7 of Coins. Absolutely. So that is the message that really hits the spot in the right way. Release fear, for example, between the King of Cups and the World. How beautiful is that? And relieve anxiety between the 10 of Cups and the Priestess of Swords. Really loving these two together. And by the way, I'm just reminding you of entering the giveaway for the Penelope's Tarot. This is by Sam Rook. It is an indie deck that is now out of print and will not be reprinted, because this is the indie version of a mass market deck that has been printed by Rockpool Publishing. So if you want to enter this giveaway, earlier on in this video I give out the instructions. It's open to all of my subscribers, so if you missed it, just go back into the video and I explain how to enter this giveaway. Can't wait to see who's going to win. But for now, that's all. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. It really means a lot to me. For now, have a great day.